Hello and welcome to this Design Cuts video tutorial. Today we're looking at creating a 3D text effect in Illustrator. It's sort of like a long shadow effect. Now, as usual, I'm using a couple of Design Cuts assets. I'll be using the Violetta script font with its swashes as my example, and I'll also show you a couple of other examples that are created using Blessed script. So I'm here in Illustrator with a brand new document created. It's 1920 by 1080 pixels in size. It doesn't really matter what size your document is. So I'm going to the type tool and I have Violetta script font already selected. I'll click in the document. I'm going to type my word, but I'm also going to type a capital letter at the beginning because I want to use this from a swash. It's just easier for me to type it in and select it in a minute. So my word is chance. So let's just go and create this word, and I'm going to select over the letter A because I want to use a swash, and I know that the swash for the letter A is the one that I want, so I'm going to select here Violetta swash. Now I also want to add a character, a swash at the very end of this word. So to be able to look at the swashes available, I'll choose window and then type and then go to glyphs. But of course what I'm seeing here are the swashes for the Violetta script font. So I'm just going to type in a capital A again here. I'm going to select over that and I'm going to apply the Violetta swash font to that character. And now the glyphs are going to show me the character set for the swashes, and this is the one that I want to use. So I have this character selected. I don't want to use it. I want to replace it. So I'll just double click on this one. So now I have my word and I can just enlarge it a little bit should I wish to do so. And I think I do. The next thing we're going to do is to make two duplicates of this piece of text. So I'm going to show you the layers palette, and let's just make everything nice and big so we can see what's going on here. So I have my type layer here. I'm going to drag and drop it onto the new icon, and I'm going to do that twice. So I have 3 copies of black text. Now this topmost copy I'm going to turn off for now so that I can't see it. And I'm going to select the bottommost copy. This one's going to be my shadow, and so when I move it out of the way, that's going to give me an idea as to what my shadow length is going to be. So I'm just going to move it sort of about this position. So I'm coming down and across, and this entire area that is between these two words is going to be my shadow. So I'm going to select both these text objects, the 2 that I can see, and I'm going to make a blend out of those. So I'll choose object and then blend and then make. And whatever you see here now, it may not be exactly what you're seeing on my screen. It doesn't matter. What you'll do next is go over here to the blend tool and double click on it. And this opens up the blend options. You'll turn preview on because you want to see what you're doing. You'll select specified steps and then start increasing the specified steps. And you want quite a few steps because you want a smooth line here. So if you just sort of fill it in, maybe 10 would fill it in reasonably well, you're going to have this sort of stepped effect. So you want to make sure that you've got plenty of steps, and I'm using 50 here. I'll click OK. So this is our long shadow, but we want to be able to see the word as well, and so that's why we kept this spare copy at the very top. So I'll turn its visibility on and I'm going to select it, and now I'm going to fill it with some color. So I'll choose this orange color, and now we can see the effect that we've created. We've got this nice long shadow effect. But there are some things that we can do with it and some recoloring effects that bear looking at in particular. And one of them is how you would put a stroke around the word chance. So for example, I might want a white stroke around the word. So I'm going to view the appearance panel because we're going to need that to do this. Now, logic might say to you that if you select this layer and just apply a stroke to it, that's going to give you exactly what you want. Well, let's apply a white stroke to it, and let's increase the stroke width. And you'll see immediately that the problem is that the stroke is going around the individual letters and not the sort of group, if you like. So that's not the way to do it. So I'm going to actually remove that. I'm going to the appearance panel. If I double click on characters, that would be exactly the same as applying the white stroke this way. So we don't want to use that. What we do want to use is this type object here. So I'm going to select the type object and I'm going to add a stroke. So I'm going to click on add new stroke, and I'm going to add my white stroke in here. And you'll see that the problem is exactly the same. It doesn't work this way. Well, it sort of does, we've just not got the stroke in the right place. So what I'll do is drag this stroke from the top of this type panel underneath the word characters here. And now we get the look that we want. The problem then becomes that our stroke has changed weight. That's because of its placement at this stage. So all we need to do is just to increase the stroke width to get the effect that we were going for. So be aware that if you want to add a stroke to this text, you'll have to do it in the type area and you'll need to move the stroke underneath the word characters for it to work. Now what is also able to be done to this image is that you can readjust how this blend is working. So here in the layers palette you've got a blend, and if you open that up you're going to have the two type elements that are creating this blend, and the one at the bottom here is the one that is creating the farthest part of this shadow. So if you want the shadow to be a little bit deeper or a little bit shallower, you need to open up your blend and you need to select this very last object, and now you can move it around, and as you move it around the blend is going to be updated live so you can see the result. Now that means too that if you select this text object you could change its color. So for example you could filter out that blend to a grey so that you have a sort of black to grey transition instead of the solid black. So there are lots of things that you can do here. You just need to be able to work your way through the layers palette to see what you have and what you can change, and be aware of that special situation where you need to apply a stroke to your text. Now, as promised, I have a couple of other examples. This is the same effect created with the Blessed Script font. And here it is with the Blessed Script font. This time I have a light grey to white shadow, and obviously this is color on black. I hope that you've enjoyed learning these Illustrator techniques. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this tutorial. Until next time, I'm Helen Bradley for Design Cuts.